you doing today? Pete here with Philly Metro CRE.com. I'm evaluating 1514 West Gerard, Philadelphia. So what I'm going to do is tell you a little bit about the property, then go over the information that's provided so we can see if this is going to be a good investment for you. This is an 8-unit. It's actually completely remodeled. Everything's brand new, and I'm going to show you the video tour so you can see it as well, some updated photos and some property information. There's also a 10-year tax abatement. There's nice views. Of course, everything's been new and updated. It's upscale. There's wide plank flooring, granite countertops, and we're going to go over the rent rolls. What they're showing here is gross projected annual income for the 8 units at $147,000 with an increase of $151,800 for year 2. And they're showing expenses of $32,840. So I'm going to break these down, give you the tour, and then let's see if this deal makes sense. All right, check it out. I am, by the way, doing a video on Real Estate Investing 101. So if you're looking for this type of information, hit the like button and the subscribe button. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And that other video should be out hopefully in a couple days. So this is the actual front of the building. And you can see they could have done a little bit better job. They did fix the sidewalks. It's on West Gerard. So it's a pretty busy street. It's not far from public transportation. And there's new condos and the Civic right next to it. So location's great. This is a 3D tour with Matterport. All the units are pretty much the same, so I'm only going to go over this 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You can see plank flooring. This is the front entrance. The design is a living room, kitchen, basically one room because they are smaller apartments. Granite countertops. Everything has just been redone. Plenty of space here. I think the 3D tour really doesn't do it justice, but this is the best we have right now. And it does walk down to the other bedroom and bathroom. You have your bathroom here with a walk-in shower. And everything's tile. Laundry. Water heater. And your bedroom. And it walks out to the patio for this unit. And now we're on the basement level. Your other bedroom. You got your closet. And your bathroom. So this unit does have a shower tub combo, and it is tile also. I did mention these units are remodeled pretty much exactly the same. So what would be different is the number of bedrooms and bathrooms, except for the studio, of course, because it's just a studio. So what do you think? Now we're going to look at the financial data and the numbers so we can analyze this deal and see if this is actually a great deal. First of all, the one thing I wanted to show is the prior MLS sheet. This MLS sheet is from 2008 or 18, excuse me. So this property was actually on the market for $850. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad deal because they increased the price. So this is listed as a 7-unit, and we'll look over those numbers. it didn't sell. So their estimated square foot is 6,700, and they're showing 1,250 projected rent. This is the studio, 400, 1,400, 600 square foot, 500 square foot at 1,400, 1,100 square foot. This is the 2-bedroom, 2-bath. 950, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,650 projected. 950, 1,650 projected, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. 1,500 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,350 projected. So that's their numbers. This is prior to renovations from my understanding, but this just shows you that information here. And now we're going to look at the property. So 1514 West Gerard Avenue, in my opinion, is in an up-and-coming area. You can see it's transitioning. It's actually a block away from Broad Street. You got City Hall here, the Convention Center, Liberty Place, Comcast Center, Philadelphia Museum of Arts up here. Of course, Vine Street Expressway right here. So pretty nice location. They have the rent roll projected and the second year projected with rent increase. The one thing I want to make note, and if you wanted to pause the video and do the math yourself to make sure I didn't make a mistake, this says 147,000. I came up with 144. It's a $3,000 difference, but still $3,000 does make a difference in the projections. If you don't think it does, if you're in rentals, feel free to send me $3,000 a year. I'd appreciate it since it doesn't make a difference. But I came up with 144, and I'm actually going to show you two different scenarios. The scenario that is projected with the information provided and the setup package, and what I came up with. And here are your projected expenses. They have real estate taxes, 6,000, common electric, 1,500, water, 5,000, fire monitoring, 900, insurance, 5,000, rental license, 440, repairs, 2,500, management, 9,000. 9,000 is under 10%. A lot of times people say you should calculate 10%. Administrative fees, 2,500. The total expenses is 32,840. So they're having a net operating income of 114,160. Okay, so now I'm going to look at this information here. This is the information provided, and I plugged all this into the Philly Metro CRE multi-tenant property evaluator. Most of this is plug and play. So of course we have your property information. Their documents, the second one that they provided said it's 7,000 square feet, but the MLS information from 2018 says 6,000 lease space, 700 common area, and it's also an 8 unit. So they did change it. Maybe they increased a little bit of square footage, but that little bit of square footage, yes, it does make a difference. But what I found, what I can find in facts is this is correct, not this. Just to let you know. Since it's completely remodeled, we said the effective age is 1. Owner pays the taxes, insurance, water, sewage, trash. This has a newer roof. It's all been remodeled. And I've already done a loan calculation here. If you put 25% down, 25% down is 562, and your mortgage is 1,687,500. That gives you payments of 8,448 at 3.5. Now, right now is a very interesting time, and the only reason is because I've seen some commercial lenders quoting they will do rates under 3, but then many are still quoting standard type of commercial rates of 7 and 9%, depending upon the deal and credit. I put 0% vacancy here. The reason is because that's what their projections show. And I also put the average rent, 8 units. This is 1,531. to get the total amount that they have here. You're going to see when I show you the second sheet, there's going to be some things different, and I'll explain it. Property taxes at $6,000, property insurance at $5,000, management $9,000, repair and labors $2,500, electric $1,500, water $5,000, accounting and legal or administrative $2,500, permits $440, fire monitoring $900. So we have the same costs, and then the net operating income would be $114,160. Your debt service with the numbers we have here are 101,376. So that gives you a positive income before taxes of 12,784. At a 5% cap with this would be 2,283,200, and this says it's actually a 5.1 cap. And keep in mind, this information here are the rents that I wrote down with projected increases, but I'm not projecting any increases. And what we did is we averaged the rent. This is actually for the second figure. So what I'm noting here is things I don't see. There's nothing that says snow removal. Of course, when winter comes, we all know snow's going to have to be removed. I estimated 20 snow removal days, $30, because it's only a front that has to be cleaned, and $600. And water and sewage bill. This is actually a 8 unit. And in Philadelphia, if you're 6 units and above, you cannot use city trash. So what I'm estimating is $250 monthly for a dumpster to get all these units taken care of, and $3,000. And then taxes, they put projected taxes. I know there's a tax abatement, which I'm going to explain that, but they put $6,000. And what I saw in public records was actually $9,350. So the reason why this is important is I'm going to show you the second sheet here. Right now, with what they provided, it says there's a $12,784 profit. But when I look at the numbers here, I've adjusted the rent. So I had mentioned to you that the number I came up with was $144,000. It's $3,000, but still that's $3,000. And also, most of the times when you go to the bank for a loan, they will force at least a 5% vacancy in your figures because you have to calculate turnover. Somebody leaves, you may not get a tenant immediately. You may have to pay costs to clean up the apartment before you get a new tenant, dependent upon your tenants. So at this point, most banks seem okay with a 5%. Most banks will not allow you to put zero, even if it's 100% occupied. So that would be a vacancy or loss rate of $7,200 a year. And that makes your gross operating income $136,800. Now I adjusted the property tax to what I found in public records. That's $9,350. Insurance $5,000. Management $9,000. Even though that's not 10%, I know often if you're looking at a rental like this, you may not have to pay 10%. Repairs and labors $2,500. Gas or the electric is $1,500. Water is $5,000. Accounting and legal $2,500. Permits $440. And trash, of course, $3,000. So that's going to make a difference there. Snow removal $600, also not in the original figures. Fire monitoring $900. And now when we have adjusted the numbers and we reduced the income with their projections, we actually have a loss here of $4,366. So if you don't analyze the numbers correctly, and in my opinion, I'm correct. But if you don't analyze them correctly, what you look at is saying, hey, I just bought a profitable deal. It could actually be a deal where you're actually losing money. Nobody wants to buy an investment to have to pay out every month. Eventually, you'd be profitable when you don't have a loan or if you put more money down. Don't get me wrong here. The estimates that they were showing online were 50% down. Of course, you're not going to lose money, but still, there's a bit of a almost $20,000 difference. If nobody cares about 20,000. I'll send you my bank account info and just send me the money. But I try to provide accurate information, as you can see, and that's why I'm coming up with a much different number. And when I'm looking at a 5%, the value should be 1.9 million roughly for this property and these numbers. The one factor that I want to recommend is the interest rate that you're being charged. Right now is unusually low. They're great rates, but in the past, a deal like this would probably be 5.5 to 7.5%, and that would be just a couple years ago, roughly 4 or 5 years ago. If you got 4.5 to 7% on a deal like this, that would be good, and that would drastically change the numbers. So these numbers are good right now, and any of this can be changed. So the great thing when you're looking at these evaluators is this makes it very easy for you to find problems. If you have your receipts and you start plugging numbers in and you say, okay, well, where am I going wrong? Why am I losing money? Or why does this not make sense? You could probably easily figure out what happened. Are you missing rents? Are you not collecting rents? Um, Are you being charged more for something that is unusual? You might have a problem with electric, water leaking. So there's always a lot of things that can happen. And that's why these forms are good, and I provide them to my clients. And that's why it's good to look at these before you go to properties, because you don't want to spend all your time trying to buy a property only to find out that you paid for a lot of things and then said, oh, well, the bank says this doesn't make sense. Well, you already paid for appraisals and all these bank fees to try to get approved. Now you're going to lose thousands of dollars because you can't make a deal because you decide you're losing money instead of making money off of an investment. So there's a couple things I want to explain as far as my evaluation from the original one and the one I have and what I feel is right. First of all is the tax abatement. I did mention the tax abatement. Yes, there's a 10-year tax abatement. What that is typically means in 10 years, you actually have starting at zero taxes, real estate taxes, to at the 10-year current rate, which means every year it goes up 10%. So this is actually just a bonus for the owner or the new buyer. And the problem that you have is if you're calculating a projection with reduced taxes, every year those taxes are going to go up. So now what you thought was a more profitable deal turns out to be a deal that's not profitable. And when you remember my projections, if you increase the expenses, that decreases the value of your property. So if you all of a sudden start with a lower rate or zero for taxes, and now 5 years later you got 5,000, and 10 years later you got 10,000 for taxes, that's going to change your profit and it's going to change the value of your property. That's why you should not, even if you're getting a tax abatement, include that in your projections. That should just be a bonus for the new buyer or the current owner. Next off is it always makes sense to do a little research before you look at the properties. When you do research, you can make a decision if this makes sense to go look at. If you don't do that, you're going to spend, with commercial properties, it's different. You can spend $700 to $2,000 on an appraisal. Bank application fees for commercial can be hundreds to thousands, and then find out you're not buying the property because the bank won't finance it with the current numbers, and now the owner is not flexible on the price. Now you have a problem. Well, I wouldn't say a problem. You have financial loss for trying to apply for something, when you could have just did the first step, do a lot of research, double check the numbers, see if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, try to negotiate a deal right off the bat, even before you go look at the property. If that doesn't work, well, move on. There's other commercial deals. You're not in business to lose money. So those are very important things. The other important thing is once you have the multi-tenant property evaluator, this gives you a good start. So if the numbers are not making sense, you can look at the evaluator. More common problems would be like water bills being too high. Tenants have leaking faucets, toilets, they don't mention it. And now all of a sudden you get $1,000 bill in 1 month. you got to find out where that is and get it corrected right away. So when you have the numbers and you understand where they're supposed to be, self-managing or a property manager should be paying attention and say, okay, we have a problem. Something's not making sense. So those are important things to look at. So this is the type of thing I do. If you need help with a property evaluation, help finding a multi-tenant property, or if you're interested in selling, give me a call. It's Pete at Philly Metro Commercial Real Estate. That's 610-209-9219. That's 610-209-9219. I look forward to helping you soon. Have a great day.